freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 301 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by azfirearms.com, your nationwide hometown gun shop. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is Riding Shotgun, and our guest is Charlie Cook. Charlie is the host of Riding Shotgun with Charlie and the award-winning blogger of the year who has gone viral with his hashtag Gungram video series where he plays the trumpet and shoots his gun at the same time in rhythm to the music. Charlie brings the fun to the topic of guns and recently attempted to break the world record for how many pro second-minute advocates he could fit into a tiny rental car.
Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show,
The
Charlie.
problem with that is I was the only one that could fit in the car in the first place.
It's great to see you guys. It was so much fun to squeeze you guys and everybody else in the car.
Oh my goodness. So we'll start right there. Can you either confirm or deny whether you did or did not indeed break the world record?
I think we did break the world record. I mean, how many pro-gun people can you fit into a small rental car? The answer is 6.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We could have probably put one more person laying on top of Amy Dillon.
Oh, I couldn't hold it. It was too, she was heavy.
No, she's not.
My favorite part. So for the folks, you can find this on the Riding Shotgun with Charlie YouTube channel. I've got a video of me in the car with Danny and Cheryl, Patrick Collins, John Petrolino, and then we put Amy Dillon on everyone's lap in the back seat. And so Danny's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Can't put them anywhere.
Right.
And I want to clear up, she was heavy. She had all her guns on her.
Oh, well, this is true.
Okay. No, she's tiny, but it was still.
I don't know if she had all of her guns on her.
Well,
probably not all.
But it was fun. It was really fun. And then driving right next to the cop.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Nobody
move, just act normal.
This is totally normal.
Because I'm sure if they would open the trunk, they wouldn't have liked what they saw in there. So.
Gosh.
Right.
Well, and then the intro little teaser video that you did with all of us, getting in and then climbing out of the car individually. That was brilliant.
That was great. I used Enter the Gladiators, which is the circus music. Da, 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 da. And then when I had everyone get out of the car, I used oh my gosh,
Benny Hill.
Yeah, the Benny Hill theme. It's Yakety Sax by Boots Randolph. That's what it was. So that was pretty fun. It was so much fun, man.
It was so much fun. The first time that I saw that you had posted it on Instagram or whatever I was on, I of course was in a meeting and supposed to be focusing. And so I was checking so I couldn't have the volume on, but the whole time I'm watching it, what was playing in my mind was the Benny Hill Yakety Sax music. Nice. And then I found out you used the Benny Hill. Yeah.
You're like a psychic friend. Good minds think alike.
Love it.
So what got you started in this gun, the Gungram videos? Hashtag
the Gungram stuff. I had a friend of mine said it would be really funny if I spent 10 years playing in a Motown disco funk band, and I went to college for music, and I knew that chubby boys that play the trombone don't get to be rock stars. So I ended up being a band teacher for a long time, and then I got into gun stuff and life changes, and still a teacher, still teaching band, and still into the gun stuff. And I was talking with one of my friends, and he's like, when you talk about when you used to play music, like back when you used to gig, you get this little look in your eye. He's like, what if you put your gun stuff and music together somehow? I'm like, what are you talking about, man? And he's like, what if you played like the trumpet with one hand and shot a gun with the other one? So it's like you could go out and do bum 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 bum, and I'm like, man, that's ridiculous.
I'm gonna do it, right?
Right. So I went home and I worked on one-handed reloading. I got some, I wrote out the Blue Danube Waltz and figured out when I could play it and how much ammunition it's going to take. And I did one of these in 2014, and it was fun. It was cool. And then a year later, in 2015, for one of my friend's son's birthday, I was heading to go somewhere else, and I said I can't make it. But you know what? I hate it when the kids say cha 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 at the end of Happy Birthday when they sing it.
Yep.
So I said I'm going to go out and I'm going to play Happy Birthday, and I'm going to shoot the cha cha chas with my AR-15. And then people, I put it on social media, I put it on Facebook and YouTube and whatever, and people are like, oh my God, those are so cool. Can you do one for my birthday? Can you do this song? Can you do Indiana Jones or, So I did one for I did the song that the Blackhawks play when they score a goal. And I ended up on a radio show in Chicago, which was really cool. I did that for my niece. And then, my nieces are all girls. They all want to have the same, they all want to have, I know, right?
That's cute. I love
It's
that.
the most profound thing ever. My nieces are all girls.
I'm gonna steal that line. That's great.
So I had a niece that was upset that she didn't have one of these. So I went out and I did, do you want to build a snowman? Bum, 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 bum. And that's what got me into it. It went from, from Happy Birthday to Do You Want to Build a Snowman to movie theme songs and Indiana Jones and
Love it.
and all sorts of other stuff. And it's been really cool. It's been a lot of
So
fun.
you use live ammo when you do that, right?
I do use live ammo. I actually talked to someone about using dummy ammo because I wanted to audition for one of those talent shows, and there's part of me that wants to tell people, yeah, I played at Carnegie Hall. I played the trumpet and I shot a gun right in Carnegie Hall.
I was going to say, if you were going to do a live concert, it could be messy.
Oh gosh, that's terrible. Oh my gosh. But haven't you had people, maybe I'm remembering this wrong, who've said something about you're not safe handling a firearm?
Oh my God.
Because our vantage point from the camera is that, we're in front of the gun, but it's the camera. It's just the camera.
I had a guy one time, and I was on this radio show. He's like, so who holds the camera when you make these videos? I'm like,
because tripods don't exist.
Right.
Well, cameras have rights too.
I told him my ex-wife holds this. Well, who else?
Of course she does. I mean,
of course.
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, how about this unsafe handling of the trumpet?
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother issue.
That is a whole other issue.
The trumpet lobby, it has a problem with you, and they're going to be hearing from you, sir. So
it's completely funny to me to see these people that are like, well, he's a gun instructor and he's shooting on an unsafe direction. I'm risking my phone. That's the unsafe direction.
You're a photographer and you're putting your camera in the wrong place.
Yes.
Maybe that.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. This is the stuff we have to deal with in life, right? So it's like,
totally.
What are you going to do?
So it proves you can have fun with firearms and be safe.
And be safe. This is
right.
I told folks that I'm trying to bring fun ownership to gun ownership. That's what I'm trying to do.
And you so do that. And then going back to the other thing that you do with cameras and cars, with cars for this one is the riding shotgun with Charlie. You just posted a pretty major milestone. You want to announce what number episode that was?
On, oh my God, what was the date? Oh, what is it? Oh, it was on March. Oh my gosh. April 13th. Sorry about that. April 13th, okay. I posted my 100th episode.
Woohoo!
I know. My passenger was Alan Gottlieb.
Amazing
I drove him
choice.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I drove him around Bellevue, Washington, which is where the Second Amendment Foundation headquarters are. And I got to drive his really expensive Corvette for the interview.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Shut your mouth. You put cameras on a Corvette that didn't belong to you.
Right.
And then I drove around while you were having conversations and not completely fully focused.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I do.
Your face and keep talking.
I had Derek LeBlanc from the Kids Safe Foundation. He came up and met me in Seattle for the couple days I was there, and he actually set me up with a couple interviews. So he's a great guy. Shout out to Derek and the Kids Safe Foundation. But he was, he drove his truck up, so he's like, I'll let you use the truck for doing the interviews. I'm like, okay. And I told Alan, I'm like, we've got Derek's truck we can use. He's like, you don't want to use my Corvette? I'm like, I didn't know it was an option, but yes. So I stuck a camera on Derek's truck. I'm like, okay, you're just going to follow us around. That's all you're going to do. And so we got some B-roll that I put in of me driving Alan Gottlieb's Corvette. And it was so funny. So cool.
Love it. What an amazing progression. So when you and I first met in real life, it was at a gun rights policy conference, if I'm remembering correctly.
Tampa in 2016. Yeah.
2016. And somehow we ended up on the dais, on the head table where the microphones and so forth are. And the next thing we know, you're doing bunny ears to Alan Gottlieb. Or
No. We're sitting on the stage. I have the picture on the wall behind me. And Masada Yu's up there speaking. And I didn't know I don't know who knows who because I'm brand new to all of this. So we're sitting up there and I'm like, that's Masada Yu. You're like, I know, isn't it cool? I'm like, I got to get a picture of Masada Yu talking behind me. So I go to get a picture of you and me with Masada Yu. Alan Gottlieb comes up and gives me the bunny ears. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing.
It is. And so flash forward and now you're driving his Corvette. Like, are you going to be adopted next? I need this scoop on my show live on the air.
Well, that hasn't been an option, but
okay. All right. Adoption is probably the next venture, but that's right. I always remember that wrong. That I always think you bunny-eared him because he's so straight-laced,
Oh my God, totally.
Spoken and so serious all the time. And he walks up and he does bunny ears.
Bunny ears.
Oh, I love it. This community is the best ever. So
now I do want to say that every time you and I get together, we have to do the bunny ears on each other.
It's true. Now I just have to do Dan because I can't.
There we go. Perfect.
I can't reach you. So, but I just love it. And we have so many of those kind of stories that are interconnected. And I think that's just the nature of this community of people who are, working to keep our rights as free as possible, as intact as possible. And, it's serious work, but we're real live people. And we also get to enjoy each other in person, rarely nowadays over the last year. But then when we do, we all end up piled inside of a car. So, there's
it's
that.
all good stuff.
It really is. So other than the Florida clown car, which I'm thinking the other side is going to love that we keep calling it the Second Amendment clown car, because they're going to be like, yeah, y'all are a bunch of clowns, right?
Right.
But other than the Florida Carry clown car folks, and of course, Alan Gottlieb, who are some other, amazing people that you've driven around and had conversations with?
So I really do get to hang out with the luckiest, the coolest people. I'm such a lucky guy. I have had Masada Ayub on the show. I've had Rob Pincus, Kevin Dixie. I've had Diana Muller, and I've had a lot of the DC Project gals. And the episode that's coming out on March 20th, that came out on March, God, I don't even know what month it is. Came out on April 20th is, so episode 101, April 20th is Hickok 45.
Well.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I know, right?
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I went down to Nashville. I mean, I've been in touch with them to see if I can get them on the show, and timing's never really worked out. But my daughter wants to go to college in Nashville, so we went down to Nashville in February. It's the same week they had the big snowstorm in the South, and Nashville was a ghost town. A ghost town. There's nothing open. Like,
oh my God, there's white stuff on the ground and falling from the sky.
Right.
Run for cover.
Exactly. The funny thing is, I messaged Hickok, and I didn't know it was going to be snowing, but I messaged Hickok. He's like, listen, people really don't know how to drive in this stuff. It doesn't bother me because I got a 4-wheel drive. I'm like, well, let's, we'll play it by ear and see what we can do. And if the snow lets up and it's not so bad. And I said, what do you guys don't have snow plows? Like the woman at the hotel didn't even know it was called a snow plow. She's like, we got one of those trucks with a shovel on it. A snow plow? She's like, oh, that's what you call it? I'm like, yeah, we're from the Northeast. It's a snow plow. But Hickox says this, he's like, when it snows, we just wait for it to melt. Like, we're not in a rush.
Gosh, that's hilarious.
Oh,
Oh,
totally.
and the guy from Massachusetts, right? You're from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It just snowed, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we're sitting here.
it's
That's why you don't know
April.
what month it is, because it's like, wait a minute, why is it snowing? Is it February? I don't know what
April.
month it is. I think it's
It,
April, you know?
so Friday we got, I think we got about 3 or 4 inches of snow. I know some places got about 7 inches, and it was heavy, wet, slushy snow. Not that you guys know what the difference is, right?
No,
But
no idea. No
right,
clues.
but it was heavy and slushy, and I actually took a picture of myself. There's a tree in my yard, and on underneath the tree there was no snow, but where the tree ended there was snow. So I took a picture of myself with snow on one side and the yard on the other.
Oh my gosh, the
So yeah,
weather
and that
is
was
schizophrenic.
April 16th. We got 3 or 4 inches of snow in New England. Crazy.
That is nuts. That is nuts. Well, and then you mentioned your episode number 101's coming out on April 20th, and I saw Danny perk up. He goes, April 20th. I'm like, inside. I'm like, I'm so proud right now because he remembered that that's our anniversary. So
No, I don't remember what
Oh,
year. I don't remember what year it is. So is it like
Dan,
5,000 or something?
it's every year, Danny.
it's just
No,
every
but
year.
is it 5,000?
Yeah, sometimes it feels like we've been married 5,000 years, but it's really, this will be 36. So,
36.
He's right next to you.
oh, that's right. Oh, I'm going to edit this out. You'll forget.
Right.
Okay, it's all right.
36 years.
God bless you guys. I
He
gotta
looks
tell you,
super
that is,
happy about it.
well, he had all of his hair and it wasn't gray, so
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, those were the days.
those were
Oh
the
my
days.
gosh.
God, I mean,
Anyway.
honestly, God bless you guys. There was one moment when I had when you guys were in the car, and I had a question directed towards both of you, and you just gave him the googie eyes. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I would love to have someone that likes me that much. Right?
He's pretty neat. I guess I'll give him another year. We'll see. We'll
Right.
see what happens.
Yeah.
So.
We're playing it year by year.
That's right. Oh my gosh. All right. So moving along, crazy year, as we've just mentioned, 2020. We don't get to see each other. The whole world's been turned upside down. We're throwing our rights away like, used tissue paper. So did the 2020 lockdown, pandemic, virus, did it affect you being able to put yourself in a closed and confined space like a vehicle with other human beings and have your and record your show?
Honestly, I thought it was at first, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna find people that are in New England, so I don't, avoid the travel ban and all that nonsense. The first thing that I did was I contacted one of the guys from Lead Slingers Whiskey. They stopped making whiskey and they started making hand sanitizer.
Oh, that's right.
And I said, hey, I'd like to I'd like to get a case of hand sanitizer and promote it on my show. And since we can't touch people without hand sanitizing, I'd like to hand these out to my passengers. So they sent me a case of a bottle of hand sanitizer, and I put one in my car. And I gave one to everybody until I was out of them. And we'd put the hand sanitizer on. I'd get in the car with the mask, and then most of it was theater. We're not walking around with the mask in our car, before we get in. But we put the masks up, we put the hand sanitizer on, we shake hands, we take the mask off, and then continue the show. The cool thing about it is with all of the the times that we live in, I call it the virus that shall not be named. But with all of this going on, I was still able to film shows in 9 new states, as well as some other states that I've been to.
Wow.
And so I was excited. Yeah, I think it was seven states since April or since March. But I got shows in Nevada and in New Hampshire before the lockdown, and then after that, oh my gosh, I practiced saying them, but I can't remember. Vermont, Indiana, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and Delaware. And then I still did shows in New Hampshire, Massachusetts and Pennsylvania and
Wow.
Chicago and Illinois. Yeah.
Do you have any
Holy
states that
cow.
you haven't done yet?
I do. I have 26 states that I have been to.
Mhm.
And one of my crazy goals is to go to all 4 states. And I'm actually hopping in the stagecoach and driving to South Dakota, excuse me. I'm doing the Mag 40 class with Masada Ayub and a lot of the folks from the Polite Society podcast.
So
And
cool.
I'm going to interview some people in South Dakota, and then I'm going down to interview some people in Nebraska, and then I'm going to swing by Kansas City and get someone there, and I'm trying to find 1 or 2 other states en route that I need to stop in as well.
So what I heard you say is you were your own super spreader event, and you had whiskey in the car. Moving right along, Mr.
Right,
Cook.
right.
Sorry, I had a weird moment of turning into CNN for a moment there, but
Exactly.
I'm back now.
So how did the hand sanitizer taste? Did it taste good?
It's, well, I try putting it behind my ears,
Yeah.
see if I can get some chicks that way.
Little dab. I love it. So
Put it in my hands.
right. So you named off a bunch of states. Like how many? Like what percentage wise? What are we talking here? I mean, what? At least half the country. Right?
Yeah, I've been to 26 states in Washington D.C.
Oh, I missed the number. I was too busy
That's okay.
thinking of my funny thing I was going to say. Are
26.
you
Right.
still here, or am I doing the show by myself? I'm sorry.
So that would be 24 states left to go, Cheryl.
Okay, math. Wait.
Right.
Okay, 26 states. That's all.
I-
That's a little more than half. Okay, got it. That's
It-
awesome.
If we really break it down, I've got 5 states east of the Mississippi that I have not been to, and 20 states west of the Mississippi that I have to go to.
Very,
or
very good.
20
Well, when you were here in Arizona, we so wanted it to be where, all right, we got the trumpet, we got the Glock, but then we were going to have the big percussion and use our
Yes.
howitzer cannon.
I
And
would have loved that.
we just couldn't make it work.
Yes. And I was thinking too,
And I hold you personally responsible, Mr.
You know-
Todd,
Me
so-
too. It's all on
yeah.
him.
I
It is.
just sold my ferret, but how fun would that have been to do riding shotgun with Charlie and a ferret?
Oh my gosh. No, a ferret is like a small tank,
Tank.
but it has rubber tires instead of like that the
Track.
tank tread,
That
But
would have been cool.
I just sold it.
But it's
No.
like a one-person vehicle, I think.
No,
So,
it's 2.
2 whole people. So the 3 of us would have been in there, like,
Right. On top of each other.
I would do that in Arizona in 120 degrees.
Oh yeah, that would
Oh
have been
my gosh.
not
Yeah,
good.
we'll need some of that hand sanitizer.
Melting with Charlie.
Yeah, melting. with
Melting.
Charlie.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. But that would have been so cool to have the howitzer,
Yeah.
with that big boom. So
Oh my gosh. I was telling someone over the weekend that I was going to go out to Arizona. We were either going to do the 1812 overture or AC/DC's For Those About to
Oh,
Rock.
that would be the one. That would be the one.
Right?
Oh man,
I
you
think
got
I'd
to.
pick
We got to.
both.
We got to do that pretty quick. So when are you going to be close to Arizona again?
Well, let's see what we can do.
Seriously, because
Yeah, I would love to go everywhere, and I absolutely want to do this.
I love it. All right. So are you a weekly show? Are you a every other week show? When do you release your shows?
So getting around and getting people in the car and traveling to these places is timely and a little bit expensive. It's my accountant likes to tell me I have a very expensive hobby. So I usually put out shows twice a month, but at the Florida Carry event back in March, I was able to film 5 shows, and when I went out to Seattle, I was able to film 5 shows, and that doesn't count the 4 shows I think that I had that I needed to edit. So I've decided that I'm going to be putting out shows once a week for as long as I can. And in the meantime, I'm still going to, get shows when I can. I just interviewed someone in Lexington, Massachusetts last week, and I'm going to interview someone this Saturday in Massachusetts, or this Friday in Massachusetts. And I'm going down to the CNJFO and the DC Project fundraiser in New Jersey next month. And I'm going to try to get 1 or 2 interviews while I'm down there. So I'm trying to get on the every week. It scares me because I don't want to commit to doing it every week, because I know eventually it's going to be a time where I'm like, okay, you have no shows and you have, no shows to do and no money to get anywhere. So
Yes.
I'm going to put out, I've got the material. I just have to sit down and edit it and put it out every Tuesday.
Well, you are well stocked, as you're saying, and you make such good use of your time. I remember when you were here for the Gun Rights Policy Conference in Arizona, like I could never find you. And I would ask people, hey, where's Charlie? Hey, he's out on another interview. It was just constantly, you just
It's
were out in the car.
Yeah, it is one of those things. Like on Sunday when everyone's done, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have you in the car at 1 o'clock. I'll be back and get you at 2 o'clock. We'll change the batteries. I'm gonna get you at 3 o'clock. Saturday afternoon, I got some interviews in, and I when I went at the Gun Rights Policy Conference in Phoenix, I got 10 shows filmed
Right.
in 2 or 3 days.
That's why I could
Yeah.
never find you.
Okay, Charlie, here you go. Here you go. Get a hold of one of these rental places and go. Another interview with Hertz Rent-A-Car with Charlie's riding shotgun with Charlie, and get one of the guys to sponsor you, so you don't have to pay for a rental car.
That would be the best.
For reals, for reals. I am
really
no
would.
good at asking for sponsors or any of that kind of stuff myself. But our good friend Yehuda Reamer, I always hear his voice in my head, and he did a speech one time about that very topic, and he's like, "But did you ask?"
But did you ask? Yeah, and
Right?
I think that all the time. Oh, you know what? When I contact a guy, I don't have any sponsors, and I need to find some in a bad way. But when I asked Lead Slingers Whiskey, I was friends with the CEO. His name is Brad Primo, and I had him on the show. And I said, hey, we're friends with Mark Walters, and I listened to you on Armed American Radio. Here's what I do. I'm looking for some hand sanitizer. He got back to me, and I'm going to be generous and say in about 3 minutes. And I'm like, oh,
Seriously.
I should have asked like a month ago.
Right.
I know,
And could you
I
imagine
know.
what
It's
car
such a
rentals would
hard
do?
thing. It's true.
I mean,
I like your idea, Dan.
Yeah.
So,
Brought to you by Hertz Rent-A-Car.
Yeah.
Where it shouldn't hurts to rent a car.
or budget or enterprise or any
It shouldn't hurt.
Because some of them, I think Hertz is one of them, is not real friendly with the
Not
Second
so-
Amendment. But,
Yeah, this is
anyway,
true.
that's a different topic. But yeah, I love that about Yehuda, and his voice is in my head, and it kind of gets tied in with that. But did you die? And I'm like, no. But did you
didn't.
ask? No.
No.
But
Right. I wanted to die. That's why I didn't ask.
exactly. If I ask, I might die, and I don't want to.
Right. There's a possibility if I ask them a question and they say no, I'm probably going to have a heart attack and die.
Instantly. Yes, absolutely. I feel the same way. I feel you. All right. Starting to wrap up a little bit. What do you have coming up this summer? Do you have classes you're taking? Do you have specific...
Yes, I'm taking the MAG 40 class and in South Dakota, and there are seats available for that if somebody wants to make it. It's June 3 to 6. It's you'd have to get in touch with Paul Lathrop, or you could message me or email me. That's fine, and I'll get you connected to Paul and get you all the information. But it's the MAG 40 class. Last month, I actually took an AR-15 or a modern sporting rifle class up at the SIG Academy, and tomorrow I'm actually taking the Handgun 103 class at SIG Academy, and then I'm taking an accuracy class. I think a handgun accuracy class this weekend. So I'm trying to, I hear that other instructors stay on top of it and get themselves some classes. So I'm like, all right, I need to do that as well. So
you're not just a pretty face. You're not just a guy that plays a trumpet and shoots at cameras, and piles people up in rental cars. You're also a serious trainer, and the best trainer is one that's well trained. So that's pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
So what's the MAG 40 class that people could take? What is
the
that?
MAG? It's 40 hours of classroom time. I think it's like 20 hours of classroom time and 20 hours of shooting time with Masada Yu and with his wife, Gail Pepin. So it's going to be a lot of when you should shoot and when you shouldn't shoot, and how you handle the police afterwards, and how do you handle the media. And it's all the stuff that people really don't think about we think about, we carry guns in case there's something bad happening. And a lot of this is what happens after something bad happens. How do you handle all of the other stuff?
Super valuable.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm nervous and scared because my friends are going to be there. And, Amanda Suffolcool is going to be there, and Paul Lathrop's going to be there, and Charlie Chambers is going to be there. So I'm concerned about not shooting well in front of them. There's a test at the end of the class. I'm like, oh, man.
I know. I understand that. But you're going to do fine. And besides that, all of these people, absolutely love you in real life. Like we're not just like, oh, we're industry friends. They're like true friends. And I know Amanda for a while was like parodying you on and wearing your riding shotgun with
With
Charlie on her videos.
she and Kelly Pigeon from Armed
Yes.
and Feminine, they got together. They took their riding shotgun with Charlie shirts and put a tape over it, and it said "Without Charlie."
Oh,
That's so
Yeah,
great.
and then they Kelly's husband is a musician, and they got their hands on a trumpet. They went to a shooting range and tried to play and shoot at the same time. And you talk about offensive, holy moly. That sounds like burps and farts, and then a couple of gunfires, and then a couple more burps and farts.
So if Amanda ever gives you a hard time about how you do it the Mag 40, you can just pull your phone out and go, and how about this? Huh? Huh? How about the time
Exactly.
that you showed how you could not play trumpet like me? I'm just saying,
Oh, totally.
besides
Yeah.
that, Charlie, you know what? No matter how good you are, someone's always going to be able to shoot better than you.
That's true.
And
Oh,
it's
this
just
is
like,
true.
it's just, but I'm jealous because the education you're going to get on what to do after you need to use your firearm to defend yourself. That who cares if you can't shoot as good as somebody else?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell people when I teach classes because they say, well, what do you do after, if you have to shoot someone, what do you do? And I say, do you have two kids? Because if you have two kids, or even if you have siblings, we all know that whoever tells first gets to be the victim.
That's the truth. I mean, that's the
Right?
perfect analogy. That's it.
It is.
Right
My kids were doing this in front of the table a few years ago. They were arguing about nothing. And my son kicked my daughter under the table. My daughter kicked my son under the table. My son kicked my daughter harder. And then she's like, Dad, he's kicking me. I said, sweetheart, whoa, you were involved in the escalation of force.
Mhm.
If he kicks you and you tell me, he's in trouble. If he kicks you, you kick him. He kicks you harder. You agreed to get into a kicking fight, sweetheart. You're on your own.
That's pretty much, you just broke it down right there. Who needs a
Yeah,
Mag 40 class now? You've just done it. So.
Right.
Other than when you call 911, you say nothing. You say, that's another thing they taught some of the classes I've taken is you say the address, with
Yeah, it's you're Joe Friday. You're just the facts.
yeah. And shut. I was just about to say we have a friend that has the acronym, and it sounds like shut the F up, but it's really like stick to the facts or something like that. But
Nice.
I've forgotten it and I've screwed it up. All right. Well, tell folks again how they can find all of the work that you do. And besides all this work that you do, you also have like a real job, what we would call a real job and a day job. So,
Like a real job.
Yes. So tell folks how they can find you.
If they look for Riding Shotgun with Charlie, you'll find the Riding Shotgun with Charlie.com website. You can listen to the show on YouTube. You can watch the show on YouTube, on Gunstreamer, and on the OpsLens app. And you can listen to it in podcast form on all of the podcast platforms, on Apple, on Spotify, and on iHeartRadio.
Fantastic. Well, Charlie Cook, we just love you, and we love spending any time with you that we can. Thank you for being here today. And of course, as you go out, you have to give us your famous sign off, your signature sign off, which is that's the one. Thanks so much, Charlie.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
He's fun.
He is. He is fun. He does bring what do you say, fun ownership to gun ownership.
Yeah,
I love it. And that whole piling in the clown car thing, the minute I heard him say he was going to try that with our friend Amy Dillon, who is like 4'8", I think,
and she weighs about 30 pounds, I think.
she does. She's this tiny little thing, but she was a Marine drill sergeant. Like, so she is just adorable, but yet fierce, right?
That's why I didn't know where to put my hands.
That's right. Yes. And her fiance is Shaky Dave Smith, the Parkinson shooter. And the only time that he's still, and
that's the other reason why I didn't know where to put my hands
is when he's on the range, firing. So I don't think you want to mess with him either. But as soon as I heard Charlie say that he wanted to have this, clown car thing where we're piling as many people as possible with Amy Dillon laying across our laps in the back seat, I was like, I'm backseat middle hump. That's me. That's where I'm going, and I will fight you for the spot. So it was super
Yeah, it
fun.
was fun.
So, all right. Well, we have got to start wrapping up and moving on down the line. It was fun to have a lighthearted interview today with
Sure.
all
Let's
of
don't
the
even end it with
craziness.
all the crazy stuff that's going on right now. Let's just end it with it was fun.
Yeah.
And we're going to pray for everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to first we thank our listeners and we thank Charlie for being on the show, of course. But let's pray for our nation and leave it on a happy note with a smile.
We will. But I do want to tell folks, if you've missed any portion of today's show or just want to, binge listen to your heart's content,
Darling,
all of the shows that we've ever done, you can go to GunFreedomRadio.com, click the On Demand tab, and binge listen to your heart's content. If you want to see photos and bios and links like to Charlie's hilarious videos and informative videos that he has, you can go to the guest tab on our page. And it is a wonderful resource of all the people that we've ever had on, subject matter experts in their field. And when you spend time there, we don't hate that. So thank you so much to all of our amazing listeners, as Dan said, all across the nation. You can also catch our videos because we have, the video and then the audio portion. The audio is always on our website. The video portion can be found on the smartphone OpsLens app, on YouTube, and on GunStreamer. And so we hope that you will spend some time there and just peruse all of the different episodes. Because holy cow, how did we end up with 301 episodes?
I don't know.
My goodness, that's amazing too. I mean, Charlie just had his 100th. We've got our 301. So we, I guess we've been busy. Huh?
Yes.
So,
You have been busy.
both of us. All right. Well, we are going to get out of here. As Dan said, pray for our nation, for our representatives.
Keep it fun.
Keep it fun. Absolutely.
Just-
And even the representatives out there that
See, now you're gonna.
we feel
She's
like
got to bring it down, doesn't she?
might need.
You got to bring it down,
No,
don't you?
it's just we want to remind ourselves that even people
Now
that
then, I'll
we
start talking about
maybe
how.
disagree with or don't like very much, that we pray for them as well, and maybe especially for them as well. All right. Well, until next week, be good to each other. Have a great week. And God bless.
Bye bye.